What is going on, everybody? This is the Fresh Baked Goods, and thank you for clicking on another Hella Loose video. We are back again with another dev briefing update, and actually the final one before update 14 is released on May 25th next week at the time of recording this, and we're going to look at some more of the features coming in that update. So one of the larger quality of life features coming in update 14 is nonverbal communication tools. And now, before I jump into this and what they have to say about it, I always do want to encourage players to use a mic if playing Hella Loose. It will be more fun, it will improve your quality of game, and it'll be more helpful to the team. That said, here's what Team 17 has to say about their nonverbal communication tools. In our roadmap reveal, we announced that nonverbal communication tools would be implemented to help support players who may not have access to a microphone or are able to use one. They go on to say, while the new tool is not designed to be used by squad leaders or commanders, it does offer other players a new way to supplement communication, a radio wheel that categorizes the four most essential comms: requests, responses, informations, and actions. And under requests, they have ammo, healing, supplies, explosive ammo, awaiting orders. Responses, they have acknowledged, thanks, sorry, good luck, unlucky, and repeat. I can only imagine the spamming of unlucky once you kill a guy and teabag him, so that will be awesome. And for information, they just have enemy ping, which is the standard, red ping that we have in there. And then for actions, they have attacking, defending, observing, and moving. And they say, designed to support gameplay, these simplified communications aim to help players make quick calls on the battlefield. So using this will be similar to if you've played Squad Leader, Commander, Spotter, Tank Commander, where you hold your ping button and you can select from all those different pings. It's going to work like that. But at the end of the day, this sounds like it's more going to be used inside squads and really not used at all in command chat, which is kind of cool when you think about it, because normal squad players just have their ping unless you're playing SL. So while again, I do not think this should be used in place of a mic, if it does encourage more communication, I'm all for it. They go on to say, with an option selected, the corresponding text will appear in text chat and the relevant marker will appear above your character's head, allowing members of the same unit to see who has made the request. For actions, markers will be placed wherever the player is pointing, other than defending, which is placed at the player's current location. Update 14 will also be further developing the existing ping feature by introducing a new point and ping system where players will be able to highlight the location of ammo, explosive ammo, and supply boxes to other players in their platoon. To use this new feature, players must be within 5 meters of the item, using either the middle mouse button or the left D-pad on controller, or whatever you have pinged to, I'm assuming, for a marker to appear above the item while also calling out in the text chat. So this is pretty cool. I know it can be hard to kind of find ammo on the ground sometimes when you have a friend drop it for you. And going back to what I said before, anything that improves and encourages communication and working together in this game, I am all for. So I think this is a really good addition. And the next feature they have coming, they don't really go into detail with. They say improvements to the XP screen. Update 14 will also see an initial improvement of the XP screen by now providing a breakdown of your awarded XP. With this feedback, players will be able to better understand how to alter their playstyle to maximize the XP they're awarded. So I have no idea what this means. This could mean a lot of things, so I don't really want to go in detail into it. But hey, you're going to get a better breakdown of your XP at the end of the game. And this next one is an absolutely huge one for console players. Console is finally getting vote to kick. So for all of you playing on console, hopefully this makes the experience a little better. The next one, we got another big one. It's going to be a quality of life update, and they have improved player locomotion, and they really want to highlight that they're trying to create realistic movement. And let's be real, the movement in Hella Loose for infantry is kind of janky. So first up, they say dive to prone. Highly anticipated. Update 14 will see dive to prone finally implemented, allowing sprinting players to hold the prone button to seamlessly move into prone and avoid conflict or discovery. That is awesome. It's always been kind of really clunky going from running to prone. You feel like you almost have to stop and then go through these weird movements to get down there. And this looks really smooth. It doesn't look like a dolphin dive or anything. It looks like the player is going to be really just going down to their knees first and straight to the ground. Really, really smooth transitions here. And we can see this in third person and first person. Next up, they're talking about step height improvements. This is a little thing that I think is going to go a long way. If you ever played Hella Loose, you feel like your soldier gets caught on everything. There will be a foot-high lump in the ground and your player won't be able to step over it. So they're really working on that. And they say these improvements have now introduced individual step heights for each position of standing. crouching, and prone. Crouch step height has been decreased while slightly increasing the standing step height, allowing players to traverse through maps more smoothly while remaining realistic. That's cool. So basically what they're saying is they don't want you to go full goblin mode while you're crouch running, but while you're standing and sprinting, you should really be able to run over everything. And they do say sprinting and running in both crouch and standing have been adjusted to feel more natural and realistic. Hopefully this has to do with the fact that you feel like you're running in mud in this game. I do think infantry should move a little faster, or at least a little smoother. So hopefully this is that. And finally, they say improvements to the rifle animation set. New jog animations as well as pose animations for the rifle movement set have been implemented, along with new aim poses, creating more natural movement and poses. Alongside this, improvements to the base idles and transitions for rifles have been implemented. They don't show us any examples of this, so I can only really speculate what this is. Hopefully player models look a little more realistic when running around, and maybe we'll get some variation of how players stand there in ADS. The next portion in this dev briefing just says they're adding this information to the field manual, so we don't really need to go into detail about that. And they do have a small paragraph about game analytics and internal testing, and this is actually really important. And Team 17 says, a game the size of Hell Loose will always be difficult to fully test at scale, with some bugs only occurring when several key factors align, including the implementation of new features introducing bugs not present during QA or regular testing. Update 14 will be evolving on the initial implementation of the game analytics introduced with update 13.5, allowing us to better identify issues that players run into, effectively design new features, and support the fixing of the harder to reproduce bugs. Talking about grenade bug, all those good old school features that we now have. With a much quicker release schedule planned and more internal resources for testing, including the game analytics, we will no longer be relying on public testing ahead of new updates in the current PTE form. We're reviewing new processes to support early access for our partners, moderators, and creators. The new studio has recently brought on a dedicated resource to help support early access for future updates, and we'll be sharing more on this in the coming months. So right now, what they're saying is PT is no more. The PTs we've done in the past aren't going to be around. So good news, bad news. Bad news is there's going to be a lot of new bugs if we don't do these. You know, for example, everything that happened in update 13.5. The good news is it sounds like they're aware about how bad this is. There's really no excuse for a lot of these things slipping through the cracks, and hopefully they figure out a new way to get testing in there for future updates, but we're not getting it for update 14 is what they're saying. Then of course we do have some new DLC which will be free, and this is going to be for the Soviets. They get this awesome Jericho cap that looks all pointy and stuff, a cavalry coat which looks awesome, to be honest with you. Then at the end we have everybody's favorite wombat, kind of touching on some of these big topics. So let's just quickly go through a few of them. Loadout and grenade bugs, they say they're still there, they're still working on them. So if you're expecting fix to them in update 14, it's not going to come. The reload bug has been fixed for update 14, really cool. This is a big one. Server performance, she said update 14 will also be bringing further performance improvements to a range of maps with more HLOD fixes to address transition issues, as well as a pass over meshes to remove excessive triangle counts and additional UV sets. To be honest with you, this is a lot of lingo I don't understand, but I'm just hoping this helps all the lag. It also mentions that Purple Heart Lane will be the next map to get a refresh. We all voted on this. As previously mentioned in past dev briefing updates, Purple Heart Lane was by far the majority choice for players to get a rework, so they will be doing that there. Console fix is coming for weapon reload audio. The M1 Grand reload audio will be fixed for update 14, which is really cool. The flamethrower clipping bug for the German support players getting fixed. And then there's a couple bummers that aren't getting fixed. Tank shell penetration issues, those are going to keep happening. If you play tanking a lot, you may notice some of your shots go through enemy tanks occasionally. No fix for that yet, unfortunately. And surprisingly, no fix for the floating pistol bug. That is strange. And then also a kind of big one that doesn't really apply to people but applies to the game itself. Hell Loose is getting a new logo, and I get it. Team 17 wants to make this their own project, so I totally don't blame them for rebranding it. So you're going to start seeing this logo pop up pretty much everywhere after today. In my opinion, I do think the text looks really, really sharp, and the trident is cool. I do think the bullet in the middle is a little cheesy once you start to notice it, but again, I do think the text looks sharp, and that's all I care about. And then lastly, Hell Loose, the price is going up slowly but surely over time. Hell Loose is going to keep going up. In the US, at current full price, the game is $40. They are going to be raising it to $45. It's hard for me to talk about pricing with this game. I bought it when it was like $20, $25. I have put several thousand hours into it. So even at 40, 45, if you ask me if this is worth the price, absolutely, I will always say yes. So at 45 bucks, without the raising the price to in the US, is it worth it? Absolutely. Compared to when games are 60 and 70 bucks, Hell Loose for 45, always a steal. And plus, it's almost usually always on sale. And that's it. That's going to be your dev brief update for May 19th here, 1 week before the update comes out on May 25th. So I know this dev brief wasn't exactly content driven, and it was mostly about the communication tools and stuff, but I always find it really neat to kind of see behind the curtain, see what's coming, see what they're working on. So I do appreciate these. I do appreciate all of you watching these, but go ahead, let me know down in the comments, what are you excited about? What are you concerned about? I always like hearing your guys' thoughts. But again, thank you for watching. Thank you for everything you do. I'll see you dudes on the front line.